Primex PT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Visit the link below and start trading on Primex PT in minutes.
Ferrum Network is an interoperable DeFi ecosystem offering token pre-sales, staking as a service, project incubation, and much more. Visit thebirbnest.com/ferrum. Globe is an upcoming crypto derivatives exchange offering up to 100 times leverage on crypto and DeFi perpetual contracts. Sign up for early rewards at thebirbnest.com/globe. Radix is the first Layer 1 protocol built specifically to serve DeFi. More information at thebirbnest.com/radix. YFDAI is democratizing finance by creating the most secure, transparent, and user-friendly ecosystem of DeFi products. To learn more, visit thebirbnest.com/YFDAI.
There you go, everybody. Hey, it's Adrian Birb here speaking, and I hope everybody can hear me, can see me okay. Please let me know very quick in the comments in the chat. Okay, if there is everything well on your end, if I'm well heard and received, because I'm very happy to be hosting this exclusive premium report. Premium report, or should I say premium webinar, involving the market report for everybody to be able to pretty much like come up with some conclusions, come up with some ideas, understanding for how the market is going to perform within the next couple of days, and perhaps weeks or months. So I'm trying to really bring you a comprehensive summary, bring a comprehensive understanding and good feeling about why we would expect next couple of days to be PTSD and why the top is not in. So I highly encourage everybody to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to this video channel, to YouTube if you're watching that on YouTube, to stay notified about all the upcoming webinars. Okay, everybody. So let's give it a go. I will definitely make sure to hear some of your notes, some of your voices, some of your comments. So please, if you have some questions, some specific questions, some chart requests, that you want me to cover, possibly, then feel free to load them up in the comments on YouTube. Fill them up, pretty much like on Twitter, on the Periscope. I see all of it. It's being streamed on Twitter, on my personal CryptoBirb's account. It's being streamed also on the Birbnest account official and on our YouTube. So wherever you are, and make sure you're subscribed, and let's go and keep it going. Everybody, last 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to be fully committing to answering the questions. I want to make it a bit more interactive as we are outside the Congress. I'll definitely would be happy to introduce to you, the overall thoughts about the Congress that we made. Now that ended a couple of days ago. It's actually more than about a week and a half. It was really amazing success. So going to introduce a couple of facts later on, but starting off, I want to bring Bitcoin's analysis, short or medium and long-term perspectives upon the Bitcoin, upon the Ethereum, Litecoin, DeFi, also intermarket analysis and perspectives on how it relates with gold, with S&P 500, with stocks, equities, with dollar index, as I said, with gold. Okay, all of that, which is kind of like a individual request from one of my private mentoring students, but I'm going to happy to be covered that. One way or another, let's get it going. I'll just make sure to screen share to launch my screen so that everybody can see and understand what's going on. Okay, now let's give it a go. Share the screen. Okay, there we go. Should be able to see my screen well right now. So what we're looking at is Bitcoin USD 12-hour chart, which is my kind of like favorite time frame. It is mid-daily. Okay, this mid-daily time frame informs you about 2 halves of a daily price action. Okay, so while daily kind of like focuses mainly on the overall summary for the entire day, we want to also see what's happening intraday. Okay, and this intraday is nicely wrapped up in the 12-hour sessions. So here looking at Bitcoin's spot price, Coinbase chart. Okay, this is not derivatives, no USDT, no Tether, no USDC. Okay, no stable coins, just dollar spot on Coinbase. Okay, or on Bitstamp, but this one is on Coinbase. Well, for those who attended all my preview webinars throughout the past 2-3 months, you guys already know that well. Okay, that we were literally just risking it quite heavily with fake breakouts on top, okay, in which that each and every single high apparently was sold. Okay, we saw numerous fake outs on top, which informed us about the upcoming at least retest of the lows, which was $43,000. And there, for those again who watch especially exclusive members, because they got it in the exclusive reports, video reports from me, but I was talking about the potential kind of like fake out scenario. Okay, this fake out scenario where you get the swept lows over here. Okay, and that's where I think 2-3 months ago I was talking about this setup that would trick people into believing that the bear market is started, that the bull market is over. Okay, which is not the case, and I'm going to explain you why. But starting off, this is exactly what we are looking at right now, in my opinion, with this difference that I was more anticipating levels like $38,000 perhaps at best. We got tiny bit overly extended movement to the downside, overly, I would say, extreme, abnormal volatility on the downside. Okay, and this abnormal volatility on the downside is usually what is considered a good buying opportunity. Many people would probably be referring to this entire kind of like a thing, like a global, like a big long-term and global audience context, Wyckoff distribution. That is also something that I was referring to in all the past reports and all the past webinars that I did and made. And that was something that was quite predictive, because I was asking the questions also on Twitter publicly, did they already pull out these Wyckoff distributions charts, And over the time, the more complete it looked like, the more Wyckoff distribution charts you would see popping up on Twitter from, fake gurus, from specialists, from like some amateur analysts and whatnot. Okay, and just to make sure, well, everything is well with the stream, please let me know. Okay, please let me know that everything is just still going fine. There are about 700 people watching, which is very good. Kind reminder to leave a subscription and comments on Tabs Up if you enjoy this already. If you enjoy all my free content, because that's what we're going to get into right now, is going to perhaps change the way you think. Okay, so hopefully, again, knowing that we were looking at the series of these fake outs on top. Okay, series of these fake outs. The fake out is defined by the fake breakout. Okay, the fake out is a fake breakout. So you had the peak marked. Okay, then you had the low somehow, which is somehow this kind of like head and shoulders and burst. Okay, shoulder, right shoulder, head here on the bottom. Okay, and then we saw something that is exactly a fake out or a swing failure, or a professionalist breakout. There are many ways, or simply a liquidity hunt, bull trap. There are so many synonymic ways that you can call that. But most important thing is that this there is this one of the most principal, I would say, rules, or not even rules, but just, well, principles in general, the polarity change. The polarity change means that whenever the resistance is broken, it should flip into a support. Okay, so knowing that, we should have expected the upside continuation, only provided that we would see the support being held. Okay, because this resistance, once broken, it was supposed to turn into a support, which it did not. Okay, so instead we saw invalidation of this upside continuation, and we saw a downside kind of like expansion, or should I say contraction. Okay, that was the first warning. So this entire move was the first warning. Then on top of that, we saw something that, well, many people call the bull flag. And I was like, whoa, bro, wait up. Okay, this is not necessarily a bull flag, for one simple reason, because this was supposed to be a bull flag being part of a sideways. Okay, being part of some low momentum movement. So bull flags are chart patterns, just like, just like pennants, that happen to be quite aggressive and short-term, short-lived, okay? This is a bull flag or a pennant, doesn't matter too much right now how we call that, because those are called half-mast formations. Half-mast because there we got the pole of the flag or the pennant or mast, okay? And well, it's called half-mast formation because it usually, the pattern itself happens to occur somewhere around through the midway of the trend. Okay, so the fact that we saw, this kind of like I would say, annihilation fakeout scenario made me think that, okay, the bulls are not safe. So I would be extremely cautious about calling that a bull flag, because then you saw a breakout, okay, and bull flag, just like any other simple bullish half-mast pattern, and like pennants, it usually has to rally right after. Okay, it usually bull flags or bear flags, or the bullish pennants, they usually happen after extremely sharp like pumps. Okay, so you have a short upside spike, usually on an intraday basis. Okay, and you see some local consolidation, and this local intraday consolidation is something that we call usually a bull flag. Okay, or a bullish pennant. The pennant is contracting. Okay, the pennant is a quick contracting consolidation. The pennant, the bull flag, I should say, is the parallel version of it. Okay, so we see kind of like, often that faked, or I should say failed pennant, often turns into a bull flag instead. Okay, so if it rejects the resistance in here, it can actually flip towards and then complete the pennant, the flag instead. Okay, but one way or another, we would expect after this short, sharp upside movement, similar sharp upside kind of like reload. Okay, but guess what? It did not happen, and it did not happen because it was part of a low momentum movement. Okay, so it was not a sharp upside trend. It was instead kind of like a lazy, faked out already movement. Okay, this faked out movement gave a proper warning to me, which made me disbelief about this bull flag and any other pattern that you later saw. Similarly, these head and shoulders inversed all over again. Okay, with some double bottom intraday on here. Similarly in here, I was referring to this neckline that in case of a nice breakout that it saw, that in case of a feather fake out all over again, the broken support would form feather ugly kind of like sideways, which it did. Okay, then we saw kind of like a sell exit position, on the BPRO on 12-hour, to give you a chance to leave around $52,000. Okay, and well, that's where it started going ugly. Okay, you saw quite an aggressive kind of like consolidation. Perhaps this was a good bearish flag, kind of like bearish pennant chart pattern. Okay, that later evolved into quite an aggressive capitulation candle, which was this one. Okay, where you saw $5,000 decline of 5-minute candles. This was the abnormal volatility on the downside. So the way I look at it is that we saw the violation of the support, that we actually saw this this predicted kind of like a setup of retest of low 40,000s and then a fake out, okay, on the bottom. But with this difference, that this fake out kind of like got magnituded, got multiplied, I should say amplified by a series of bearish news. Okay, and this series of bearish news had to do, of course, with the China ban. It had to do with the Elon Musk suspending, Bitcoin and crypto acceptance for the payments for Teslas. Then you saw U.S. Treasury just pretty much like FUDing, saying that cryptocurrencies is used as a tool of tax evasion, processes, and any other illegal crimes. Then you saw some Russia kind of like threats about FUDing Bitcoin transactions, and all of this bullshit. Okay, so see and note how well timed everything was. Okay, and I was actually talking to my private mentoring student earlier today, and I was referring, I was telling how easy it is actually to manipulate the market, how easy it is to make people believe into certain theory, into certain narrative. Okay, especially when you lack your own understanding, when you lack knowledge what you do is you try to find some good role models and copy paste what they do, which is exactly what's going to lose you money. Okay, because everybody should have their own trading decisions. Everybody should have their own trading kind of like a system and strategy, which is out of question. Okay, well, me trading with 6-7 figures is going to be, completely different gameplay, even applying the same tools, right, than for somebody who's trading with hundreds of millions or with hundreds of dollars. This is completely different words, okay? And each and every single person is dealing with their own struggles, with their own, some people are taking married, are getting married just like I am next week, okay, which I'm excited for. The others are dealing with divorces, some people are dealing with family, deaths, and COVID, just pass away, for some family members or relatives. There are many things, that impact the way you think, that really distort your vision, your understanding of the markets. And they are all perception biases, which is well nicely explained by the behavioral finance. Okay, so knowing all that, we are looking at something that was quite well engineered. Okay, there is out of question that all the news started popping up all of a sudden, out of nowhere, literally like, one day after another, there was more and more bearishness, more and more bearish news were popping up, So all of this usually happens at the key extremes on the market, like key extreme reversals. I mean, this is used as a manipulation, okay? This is, well, if you are new to this market and if you believe that, markets are not manipulated, then this is going to be quite a disappointment to you, because you are simply wrong. Each and every single market on this planet is manipulated. And it's manipulated by people who have money, who have impact, who can manipulate, which is not average Joe with $100 position, but more of a bank institution loaded up with hundreds of billions or tens of billions dollars. Okay, those are the key players, or some perhaps key opinion leaders, KOLs. Many people, many projects literally want to work with me because they consider me to be KOL, the key opinion leader. For me, having almost 300,000 followers on Twitter, many people know that I could have some impact, And honestly speaking, if I ever wanted to do this, I have enough power and following probably to pump up most of the shitcoins that you can find in there, right? And like all the mainstream altcoins. But I find it highly immoral. Is that the way you refer to that? It's not moral. I believe it's wrong. I believe it's not the right thing to do. Okay, which is exactly what I avoid doing that, and I just simply am disgusted by anybody pumping and dumping. And I want it to be very clear again. If I, as a person who has impact, I could make people and everybody trick into believing that something is extremely bullish. Let's say, I wake up one day and I decide, okay, out of nowhere, just without good rationale, let's say, I decided that I want to introduce best altcoin on the fucking planet, in my opinion, to everybody, to my community, to all the Discord members and everything, right? I could literally create one big, move on the market by saying, everybody should load in, everybody go for it. This is your lifetime opportunity. This is super cheap, go for it, put your all lifetime savings. Of course, I'm never going to fucking do this because I'm not that type of a person, right? But there are so many influencers, so many fake gurus who literally just do this. And I'm really disgusted by that. It's extremely disgusting and awful. But, I have enough, let's say, following and power to do this. So all you have to do in order to manipulate the market, okay, to pump it or dump it, you have to have people who follow you. You have to trick people into believing into something, all right? If people believe that that thing is extremely bearish, they would sell off because they like their own knowledge, they like their own understanding, You would be surprised with how many people literally sold off the dump, on Bitcoin because they heard some fancy smart suits, just in the media TV, in the breakfast TV station, saying that Bitcoin has crashed and that it is fucking going to zero. Okay, you would be surprised with how many people do this. Just want to see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so just want to make it very clear, okay? It's very easy to manipulate the market. It's very easy. And if you believe that markets are not manipulated, this is your wake-up call, okay? Time to wake up and get real. And so if I wanted, to pump some coins, let's say, then I would release a lot of bullish tweets. I would release a lot of bullish articles, a lot of extremely bullish, interviews and everything, right? And if I wanted to dump some coins, if I wanted, if I disliked some project, I could do it reversely. I could say that this is extremely bad project, that this is going to hurt you. You're going to lose all your money. That this is, the team is terrible behind it. The overall concept is terrible, and so on and so forth. So would buy into a lot of articles to make people, and trick people into believing that this is true, which is of course bullshit. But guess what? What matters is that most of the people don't have their own opinion, and they would literally follow everything they read in the headlines of the newspaper. Okay, so imagine right now me with 300,000 followers, and I could have some impact, but then take all that I just shared and take it to some higher magnitude, to some bigger power, to some bigger amplification, and what you do see is that this is exactly the big fucking dump that happened recently. Okay. You saw Bloomberg FUDing, you saw US Treasury FUDing, you saw China FUDing again, you saw all the big stations, all the big articles, all the big newspapers just telling how bad Bitcoin is. Okay, which is exactly what caused people what made people believe, okay, that Bitcoin is bad, that Bitcoin is going to zero. Okay, and there you go. We have extreme fear on the market. People are extremely fearful at the rates unseen ever since the market crash with COVID, where people literally believe that it is going to die. This is the first time since then, okay? And ever since, we have not seen such a strong dump, until, well, we hadn't seen until the dump occurred. The volatility increased because the market is higher up in the market cycle phase. But most importantly, whenever the dips occur like that, whenever there is extreme fear on the market, that's usually a good buying opportunity, not selling. Okay, so if you ask me, this is extremely bullish thing that Bitcoin is trading about, between $35,000 and $40,000, which is 2x, twice as much over the last all-time highs, and the market is extremely fearful about that. Just take this, imagine that. Okay, so how bullish it really can get if the market is back at the euphoria. Okay, if we fear that the market is ended, at $35,000, $40,000, then where's the top? Because I gotta tell you that that's not how the tops look like on Bitcoin. The tops on Bitcoin look like blow-off tops. They usually come with blow-off tops because that is the only possible way for the big money to enter, or should I say exit, right? For the mainstream, for the dumb money to enter. And this is going to provide the liquidity for the whales to exit. Okay, so the blow-off top is the only way out of the markets, for the whales, for the big players. And don't fool yourself, okay? It's not me. It's not average Joe, again, $100 position portfolio who reverses the market, okay? It's not because some of us sold this, but because somebody decided to exit hundreds of million position at once in a minute. That's how we come up with the reversals, okay? And this is not the top for so many reasons. The tops don't happen at the fear. The tops happen at the perfect euphoria, okay? When everybody's never thinking of taking any profits, when everybody is just thinking of how rich they become, okay? If anybody is just thinking, that there is that this is impossible ever for the market to reverse, that's when it reverses, okay? And I just want to make you guys very aware that we are looking at, in my opinion, something that I would call disbelief to zero, okay? And many people, this is actually funny, I can find it for you. Disbelief. There are so many tweets which you can just Google and find. There you go. April last year, 7th April 2020. BTC pumps 90% and sentiment is extreme fear. Now, this is what we call disbelief. And that was about $7,000. And that was the disbelief. Okay? That was, classic. That was the very disbelief. Okay? Well, this is what I call disbelief to zero, okay, right now on this dump. But I want to show, there you go. This was September, okay? Bitcoin's Twitter social sentiment is at all-time low, which is September 16. And September, just for your information, September was exactly September dump was here. Okay, this was September, right before we initiated all the biggest market rally. That was the fear. That was the disbelief. That was what made people disbelieve that the bull market is ever going to come. Okay, that we're still stuck in a bear market. And guess what? It's exactly the same. All right, you couldn't see the chart. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting. I was referring to this tweet. Okay, I was referring to this tweet. This is September 16th. Okay. Once again, September 16th is pretty much like here, okay? It's like when Bitcoin was about $10,000. It was freshly after the crash from 12 down to 98. I remember also people, just arguing me that there was this CME gap, Chicago Mercantile Exchange future gap, about $93,000, I believe, and I was telling that this gap got filled, and people were like, no, bro, you're a fucking idiot, because it has to fill it completely, and there was like a couple of bucks difference that it did not fill it perfectly. And I was like, yeah, so watch this. Right? So this is exactly what happened. Yeah, and I was referring, as I say, to the Bitcoin's Twitter social sentiment at all-time lows back then. And that is exactly what we're seeing, the repetition of it. Okay? That is exactly what we're seeing right now. So knowing that again, right? I was showing also this very chart, this very tweet. Okay, April 7th again, just bringing it back. BTC pumps 90% and sentiment is extreme fear. Now this is what we call disbelief, and that was in fact the disbelief, right? $7,000 for Bitcoin. That was the disbelief, where people disbelieve that the bull market is ever going to come up or continue. That is a good buying opportunity. Okay, it was literally right before the biggest rally initiated. Right, I hope you see that clearly. And right now we are looking at exactly the same setup. Okay, the sentiment is simply not for the top. The sentiment instead is for the bottom. Okay. Yeah. Keep reminding me to listen to everybody. I'm still human. If you see that I'm not sharing, the chart or something, just let me know. Okay, I'll do my best. Kind of reminder to everybody who watches that on YouTube, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Put your notifications on, bells on, to miss out on the upcoming videos and sessions, because there are so many of them coming up. And another kind of like thing that is exactly reminding me of the same kind of like a pattern situation, I should say. Okay. There you go. It was another. Let's make it clear. BTC broke out of long-term bear market, going sideways for 3 months right now. Market tops are violent and don't take 3 months to form. And July 7th, when Bitcoin was 9,200, this is exactly what people called that the top is in, that the bull market is over. Okay. On this breakout over this trend line, okay, of the semi-bear market, people were calling the top is in, and guess what? They are calling the top is in right now as well. The main conclusion is that the market, for the people, the market is always wrong about the extremes, but is always right about the trend, which is why you never fight the trend. Okay, which is why you never fight the trend. You never fight the trend direction, which means that you don't short the bull markets and you don't long the bear markets. okay? Because you can get that right once or twice, but statistically speaking, you're going to get wrong on that most of the time, and you're going to lose, right? It's like swimming up against the river stream. You're not going to handle that for too long. Yeah, guys, I want to, while just slowly moving to the second part of this webinar, I want to just make it very clear statement that, in my opinion, I bet all my technical knowledge right now that I have based on current knowledge, based on current data, current information, I call it that Bitcoin is not topped out, that we are going to see still new highs. $90,000, $120,000 is my personal target. It's conservative. I believe it may go way beyond. And all the metrics suppose that. All the metrics just inform that, okay? The fundamental analysis hasn't changed. We're still having the mining difficulty increase after each and every single halving, okay? The hash rate increase, which keeps breaking new all-time highs after each and every single market cycle top, okay, and bottom. You are seeing the sentiment, which is extremely negative right now, which makes people into believing that the bear market is on, which is bullshit. You see the technicals, which is extremely, I would say, which is extremely oversold right now. Okay, the momentum is oversold, the volatility is oversold, market is oversold because the weak hands got shaken out. Okay, and right now, and we're looking at something that I call PTSD, and similarly to what we saw in the market crash in the COVID, is exactly what we're seeing here right now. Okay, it takes some time until the market becomes rational again. It takes some time until market understands market is the people. The people are the market. Okay, you and I. So if people go liquidated, then it takes time for them to shake out and, well, to understand what just happened, that they lost their money. They have to take time to adapt. Firstly, they have to go through the denial stage, because firstly, you don't believe that this happened, that this cannot be true, this cannot be real. Pinch me, I must be fucking dreaming, okay? This is not real. So if you go and pass through this disbelief stage of your kind of like depression mode, let's say, then only then that the market starts, pretty much like understanding what situation it is right now in. Okay, so it takes time, which is natural for the market to kind of like decide, okay, what is going to come next. And in my belief, I do believe that we're going to see another repetition of V-shaped recovery like this. Okay, at one point, I want to see retest of at least $50,000. Okay, this is like some area of interest between 48, perhaps $55,000. We still are lacking the lower high somewhere. We saw the high, we saw the low. So now we are aiming to go somewhere and provide either the lower high, or in case this one is broken and reclaimed, to provide a continuation to the bull market, which is also possible. Okay. Q3, which is from July to September, June, September, I believe, doesn't matter too much. It is usually about the vacation time, people getting free, people right now, getting off the charts because lockdown is ending globally, so people will be coming out. There's not going to be too much of interest going on into trading, so many people would usually not be too interested in trade. You're going to see way lower volumes on the markets, way lower open interests, and kind of like consolidative nature of the movements. So I would expect some big, massive consolidation going on, okay? Something like this throughout the rest of the couple of months, and till later, in the final stage, in November, December, later this year, remember, mark down these notes, these dates, I would expect market to continue in the final cycle, in the final cycle stage, final spikes, final push, final euphoria, and everything bubble. DeFi would be recovered and restored. Right now, everything is pretty much like crashed 90-80%. It's slowly moving at all. Altcoins mainly got extreme hits, like Ethereum, Litecoin are extremely, are extremely, I should say, pain right now. Okay, you can tell. By the way, I'm going to make this screenshot and upload it for the members, so that I make sure with my own trading channel, so that I make sure this is saved. Okay. But yeah, Litecoin, Ethereum, they took abnormal hits. Which as well did not change its fundamentals. Okay, the fundamentals of Bitcoin, the fundamentals of Ethereum remain the same. Of Litecoin as well. I mean, it's not that the market crashed, happened because Ethereum collapsed or that Ethereum is useless and it became worthless overnight. Okay, we are just seeing extremely bearish sentiment and people who panic sold right into the supports, right into the hands of some people who are catching the bargains. So anything you can tell that on the intraweek basis, that anything between 1700 and 2100 was heavily bought on the weekly basis. Okay, this is your demand layer. So whenever you get entries in there, I would probably consider getting in on the board. Okay, key level for Ethereum right now to retest is at least $33,000. Similarly to 80 for Litecoin. Okay, and it's going to take some time, but similarly to Bitcoin, I would expect some choppy upside, some choppy recovery, V-shaped recovery. Whenever you see a sharp decline like that, okay, V-shaped recovery is usually what happens. It's because the bargain hunters just hunt for the good bargain and discount on the market. Okay, because the same Bitcoin, the same Ethereum, Litecoin, it's all fundamentally the same. And well, Bitcoin's nature is deflationary. Okay, the scarcity, it's like digital gold because the scarcity over the time increases. There's only limited amount of gold in Bitcoin that you can get and mine. Okay, so the less gold is left because everything has just been mined already. Then the less gold is left, or the fewer Bitcoins are left on the market in the supply. Okay, the more scarce they become, the more expensive they become. Okay, so again, knowing that, it is, in my opinion, well, Ethereum and Litecoin and alts right now look way worse than Bitcoin. But knowing that Bitcoin top is not in, I would easily expect still $10,000 for Ethereum later this year. You can screenshot that. You can take the recordings. You can just mark my words. Everything that I share is probably going to happen later this year. Okay, $1,000 for Litecoin. I would expect something like this to come. Okay, it may take some weeks, some months, but I would still expect its bull market is on, because when the bull market is on, when the Bitcoin is not topped out, it's going to go up to new highs, and altcoins, Ethereum and Litecoin, would follow just on the simple basis of superposition effect itself. Okay, so long story short, I would still expect those to go for it as well. Most importantly, there is a question from Hamza, like, $500 ring, is that possible or no? I believe $200 is possible, $100 is possible, $500 is a bit overly extended, but I would believe, crypto tends to keep surprising us. Everybody, if you're watching that on YouTube, kind of reminder to leave your thumbs up, leave your comments, make sure you subscribe to this channel, put your bells on to stay notified if you are new, and if you appreciate what I just shared with you. This is probably the most compressed, technical knowledge you can get. Like, I just speak so fast that, yeah, I hope you can catch up. But yeah, by being certified technical analyst, I really want to dedicate all my power, all my forces, to really leave you with some knowledge, guys, to really get you some added value. Okay, which is exactly what we are doing. I myself with my team, in the Nest, in the exclusive corner, for all the premium subscribers. But yeah, listen, I do believe that right now, knowing that, okay, whatever happens again on the lower time frame basis, on the 12 hours chart, it is going to mimic what Bitcoin does. And because Bitcoin is clueless, Ethereum and Litecoin is also clueless. But as long as Bitcoin is going to continue upwards in some V-shaped recovery, at least to establish lower highs somewhere over here, for Bitcoin, then I would expect Ethereum to follow that, here, or even perhaps sweep the highs and make a new high. Okay, that could be quite a possible case as well. Altcoins are get this market stage phase, they get more volatile than Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin dumped 55%, Ethereum or Litecoin dumped 70% almost. Okay, they get quite more volatile. And everybody, I believe we have about 15-20 minutes left. Now it is your time to leave all your questions that you may have. I'm going to be answering some of yours. Okay, so make sure you leave those and chart requests. Okay, but I want to just very quickly check one thing. Yeah, I'll cover my personal kind of like request that I got from one private mentoring student, and they asked me to bring you the comparison between Bitcoin. Let's actually make it a copy. Okay, BTC, DXY, S&P 500 or S&PX for the futures, and gold. Okay, let's get it. Let's focus on higher time frames. Let's bring, I guess, 4 charts like that. Okay, hopefully, yeah. So let's do BTC on daily. Let's do dollar on the daily. Let's do S&P 500 or SPX. Okay, futures. And this is also on the daily, and let's do gold. Okay. Hopefully my chart is visible, that you can see and check everything. Okay. Yeah. Where do you have it? Yeah, so, long story short, what we're looking at right now is, from the macroeconomic point of view, quantitative easing, the helicopter money is not stopping. Biden keeps commenting, and that's also kind of like surpassed, or should I say, mimicked by the other global economies. We are seeing very easy economy. People, the governments, the central banks keep printing money endlessly, right? They keep also accelerating the spending, which means, long story short, that they're accelerating the spending after they announced that they're going to be boosting inflation. Okay, so the way that they want to handle the overall COVID crisis, although you cannot see that in the charts, this is quite a divergence. The charts are really good. There's like undisturbed upside movement and never-ending bull market. But don't get fooled, because the biggest amount of money was printed in 2020. And also there was the biggest wealth transfer, okay, from 40, I believe, 2 to 50%, more than 50% for the richest 1% of the entire planet, of the people, okay? They got richer by 25% by making everybody go poor, okay, which is also kind of like quite obvious. And as long as they keep printing money, which is about the very easy economy, this is a one-way ticket. They're not going to cause deflation. They're not going to cause any deflationary solutions, because that would not only admit them wrong and make them feel responsibility for all the actions of the mismanagement for the global economies. Okay, the inflation right now is the global cancer. They would tell you inflation is good because there is 2% inflation kind of like target a year, that you would want all the global policies, global market, I should say monetary policies, to follow in order to heavily, or should I say healthily, develop, which is kind of like full of bullshit. Okay, the 2% inflation is the one you see on nominal on the paper, which has nothing to do, is nothing close to the real inflation. The real inflation is what you see by paying, for the card in the shop. Okay, when you do the groceries, okay, you probably notice that you pay about 50% more for the same, vegetables, fruits, that versus what you paid for that a couple of years ago. That is a real inflation. Okay, the consumer price index, CPI, is exactly what's showing you inflation. And hard assets and commodities are inflationary hedge usually, which is exactly why I love gold and silver this much. Okay, so gold well, ever since September 2020, or should I say August 2020, it was bull flagging. That is a perfect example of a bull flag, of a major bull flag, right? And this major bull flag, right now it's seeing its breakout. Okay, you can clearly tell there is a breakout on this bull flag. So you could anticipate some retest perhaps anytime soon, but then this is a long-term continuation pattern, which is exactly what makes me think that we would see gold around $3,000 per ounce anytime soon within the next 6, 12, 15 months perhaps. I'm well loaded in gold. I'm even better loaded in silver because I love it even more. It's way cheaper. It's way more fundamentally, I would say, pumpable. It behaves like cryptos. It causes bubbles, but at the same time, it's insanely less overvalued. It's better. It's more undervalued right now against gold and Bitcoin. So knowing again that Bitcoin has just kind of like broken out on the downside and retesting, somewhere of this bigger lows of the range, you're going to see some range probably and continuation perhaps later this year. Okay, this is a range. This is a typical continuation pattern. When you have a long, short, should I say, strong upward movement, then you have a consolidation. Then it usually is a continuation pattern. Okay, so knowing that Bitcoin and gold are supposed to continue and align nicely, I do believe silver would follow up as well. And this can only happen as long as dollar is kept weak. Dollar per the US dollar DXY currency index, okay? Dollar set against and compared against the basket of other currencies, the main global currencies. So which tells you again that, well, we are in heavy decline kind of like for the dollar, okay? Ever since the COVID crash, well, the overall solution to the COVID crash came in here that it decided that they would keep printing money endlessly around this is like the most recent inflationary kind of like boost of this year, 2021. Okay, but the way you see that the market crash, happened, well, it was in here, right? That's the solution to the market crash, to the COVID crash, apparently was, well, printing even more money, right? Which is again PTSD. So equities dumping like heavy thing, this is the COVID crash for equities, okay, which you saw that they reversed and continued higher quite well, almost 2x from the lows. COVID crash in Bitcoin, COVID crash on dollar. So dollar initially was a safe haven place and safe haven currency to be. So many people, many investors just took money out of Bitcoin, out of equities and rallied to the dollar. But then the inflationary promises and quantitative easing kicked off, right, or kicked in. So right now we are looking at quite a directional alignment between gold and silver. I do believe that gold and silver are going to be very well performing assets within the next couple of years. I'm not going to sell my gold and silver within the next 2-3 years at least. I do expect silver to be at least $100 per ounce, most likely $200 per ounce. Gold somewhere between $3,000-$5,000 per ounce is definitely reachable in my opinion. Bitcoin $90,000-$120,000 is definitely reachable, possible as well. Now I would expect, as long as they keep printing money, which they promise they will, and they would, I would expect dollar to continue getting weaker. Okay, and for the reason of inflation, again, I would continue equities to keep going up, and that is leading to one place in future within the next 10 years, 2030 agenda by World Economic Forum, where they're going to transition to a new monetary system, digital currencies. This is already kind of like given, said, exposed, revealed. That's literally said and visible on the website. This is something that you can know. They just promise to you what they're going to do. So knowing that, we are going to see the overall boost in the inflationary hedge assets, which is Bitcoin for its deflationary nature, for gold, silver, and for the real estate as well, right? Real estate and lands. I'm a big fan of those. So knowing that, I hope it just helps you understand the position better, right? This is a good suggestion. Believe you need to press the like button. Go ahead and press the like button. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And guys, I really want to make sure that I'm doing and sharing my best knowledge with you. I know this is a lot. I know there's a lot of money being printed right now, which makes everybody confused. But I want to just let you know that I really value and I appreciate all your support. All my 300,000 followers just getting close to that, and I really hope you guys appreciate all the free content I share with you. Right? I could spend my evenings like a regular normal person, like my friends do, because it's 8 p.m. almost in my place. They are just having drinks, but I'm working for you for free. I hope you appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so let's give it a quick dive into questions. Let's go. Would we go a bit lower for BTC lower than 30K? It is possible, but more of a liquidity hunt, and this is going to be extremely intense buying opportunity. And if that happens, I would buy the heck out of this. Okay. Well, chances are low, but if it happens, it's going to be sweep like, $28, perhaps $29,000. I wouldn't expect the bear market. Okay. All of that I just shared is, of course, assuming that we're not going to fall into World War III, for example, because if the world, comes to the conclusion that the military conflicts should escalate and that we're going to see World War III escalate, to the military phase, that everything is going to get crushed. No Bitcoin, no shitcoin, no dollar, no currency, no gold. Perhaps gold and silver are going to save your asses. Okay, but yeah, all that I shared, is not going to happen. There's going to be premature bear market only if there are some insane global military conflicts. Other than that, which is quite unlikely, other than that, all that I shared, I'm quite convinced about that. Will we go down to 32, 28, then 20? In my opinion, chances are low for that, rather not. Adrian, did you pick any altcoins on this dip? Ethereum and Litecoin? Yes. Do you think BNB is in correct range, or can it go lower or hit an all-time high again soon? It seems down quite a lot, but at the same time, it was up quite a lot this year. So BNB is a high cap, similar. It is exactly the same thing that I shared with Ethereum Litecoin. So not to repeat, I'm just going to say it's going to behave similar to Litecoin and Ethereum. Any chance we get from Cody, Fang, any chance we get to $30, $40, $32,000? In my opinion, low probability, but there is a chance if there is additional FUD so that weekends would get shaken up, right? And this could cause another series of panic sells and panic dumps. But chances are low. But if that happens, good buying opportunity. Where do you see Bitcoin in 10 years value-wise? I have no idea. This is like, I would be worried where Bitcoin is in a year or tomorrow rather than in 2 years. I have no idea. No idea. Janky super content. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, guys. Do you believe we're following this Wyckoff accumulation chart? Guys, Wyckoff... How to explain that so that I just don't get... People don't get mad at me. Chart patterns work because we make them work. It is scientifically proven, okay? That our brains, comes from the behavioral finance and how our human psychology works. But our brains get rewarded with dopamine, with the hormone of happiness, which becomes addictive, okay, for recognizing the patterns. So chart patterns and Wyckoff distribution chart or accumulation chart is a chart pattern. It usually works because we make it work. But right now, I mean, we are in the accumulation zone, in my opinion. The perfect accumulation zone was between $3,000 and $9,000 and $12,000. That was accumulation. Okay, so it's not accumulation anymore. If at all, I would call that reaccumulation, perhaps at best. But you would probably call that, Wyckoff distribution, Wyckoff accumulation or inverse head and shoulders or triangle. Doesn't matter too much. Okay, it's just sideways. It doesn't matter too much. Do you factor in other worldwide factors? Most of the cities were US-centric, but what about Asia, Eastern Europe? They must have large effect too. The biggest the biggest mines of Bitcoin, as far as I'm concerned, are in China. So there was a power cut, in China the other day when the power plants went down and Bitcoin crashed $10,000 that day, right? So they do have an impact for sure, and this is always something that you need to consider. Yeah, appreciate all the kind words. What do you think on TRX? Guys, it's very hard to give you concrete answers to unconcrete questions. What do I think about Tron? I don't like it. That's all that I can say. Respond to unconcrete question. Where did you have it? Your thoughts about XRP? Similarly, I don't like it. Could we see retest of 2017 highs, 1921 in the bear market? Yes. My target for the bear market is going to be 80% decline from the top drawdown, which places it somewhere between $10,000 and $14,000, I believe. So if you ask me what my target is for the bear market that is coming after this bull market, I would say $10,000, $14,000, something like this. Is it good idea to dollar cost average on every dip for the next months? No, because you may easily average down. You may average dollar cost average into buying all-time highs. You can into buying the top as well. If you keep buying the tops, if you keep buying the dips, you can still buy the top. So no. Why your face is red, sir? I have no idea. Jesus Christ, your face is red, you are in alcohol. What is up with you guys? No, that's the light. That's the light, Jesus. I don't know. Hello, fam from Curate. Yeah, all the best to Curate. Do you suggest BNB as a long-term hold? Not really. Congrats on your up and coming wedding. God bless. God bless you, Mia, as well. Thank you very much for that. How did you manage panic at deep pullbacks? Well, you just buy that. What usually, there was a question, what usually occurs after Wyckoff? So it depends on what type of Wyckoff. It's not a concrete question. Should we trade more right now or just buy and hold? Most of the buy and hold traders outperform about 90% of the market. 90% of short-term day traders, they usually lose money. So buy and hold traders usually outperform market by most of the short-term traders by about 90% of the cases. What about DCA mode gold? DCA ape mode in silver? Yes. Would you recommend to buy altcoins like Martic? I don't know what Martic is, or ADA, Cardano. If you know how to trade it, sure. If you're a skilled trader, yes. But within the next couple of days, I wouldn't really be brave enough to encourage anybody to trade altcoins. Mainly stick with the Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, I believe. Big congrats on your wedding. Thank you. Have you heard about next Matic? It's called Telos. I did not. I have not heard. Can you elaborate about real estate, like where? It depends. Real estate, before I need to finish, real estate is all about the location. It's all about the hard assets. I prefer lands to the housing. Housing is definitely a bubble, but it's not going to burst until the everything bubble bursts in around 2028, which is, remember this, by the way, I can bet with you right now that there's going to be another pandemic, which is going to be way worse than this in 2028, which is going to crush the markets, which is going to evaporate this entire market, be a final ultimate battle, ultimate wealth transition, ultimate kind of like solution to the new monetary system, currency system, the financial system, the monetary system these days is going to end and crash. You're not going to see cash. You're not going to see money the way you know it. You're going to only see digital money afterwards. 2028, 2029, remember those dates. You're going to have another pandemic, perhaps Martian virus, because we will have already flown to Mars, I believe. So there would be probably some dumb bullshit, another pandemic, whatever virus. Can you see if this stream? This is on our YouTube, so yeah, it's going to be saved. And final reminder to everybody, because I need to be finishing, to leave your thumbs up, comment, leave a subscription as well. Press the sub button, subscribe to this very YouTube channel if you're watching that on YouTube, guys. We have to keep it going for the Birb Nest. And that's how YouTube algos work. So leave a thumbs up, leave your comments, say something nice if you enjoy all my free time that I share with you here. Because it's my free time. It's 8 p.m. I just did it deliberately because I want to provide you with some value. So I hope you appreciate it. Yeah, that's going to be a repeat of 1920s. That's going to be the crash. That's going to be Great Depression, and that's going to be probably World War III as well. Okay, so invest in your financial knowledge. Invest in your financial freedom. Nothing comes free, guys. Nothing comes free. This is free. Yeah, but I'm not going to make you rich. It's you who can make yourself rich with this knowledge that I share with you, but I'm not going to make you rich. Okay, everybody, I need to be finishing. So I really appreciate all your time and coming over to the stream. And I want to just say that I appreciate each and every single one of you, that I love you very much. I really hope you guys, after this stream, take much good energy, that you go and share some love with the friends around, with your family. You hug and say to the people you love them. Okay, that's how we make this world a better place, not by just being extremely toxic to one another or saying that your face is red from alcohol. Yeah, so leave your thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to this video channel for our YouTube. And guys, I really hope that if you are lost, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know what to do about your money, 7 days free in the Birb Nest. Okay, sign up free. You put in your email, you put in your first name, 7 days free, no credit cards required. You're going to get in the most reputable and the biggest trade group of this kind since 2017, guys. This is where it all happens. And I know many questions are not answered. So whenever you have questions that I didn't answer, make sure you come in, even to stay and even to ask the questions. I and my team are going to handle you 24/7 for free, 7 days, and you're going to get in the biggest community with all my personal trading channels, with the market scanners, okay, with the free reports, with the exclusive premium reports. All of this is going to get you free access, no charge, no penny charge for that. 7 days free. Okay, if you want to know more, as always, drop me a DM and go for it, guys. I see you in the nest. God bless you. Bye-bye.